Picture this, February 9, 2004. A bitter cold Monday evening in the remote White Mountains of New Hampshire. Snow blankets the ground, the temperature hovers near freezing. At exactly 7:27 p.m., a black Saturn sedan crashes into a snowbank on the desolate Route 112. The impact deploys the airbags, the windshield spiderwebs from the force. The driver? A 21-year-old nursing student named Maura Murray. She's alive. She's standing outside her damaged car. A local bus driver stops to help. They talk. He offers to call police. She refuses. 7 minutes later, when the first officer arrives, something impossible has happened. The car is still there, locked and abandoned. But Maura Murray herself? She has vanished without a trace. 20 years later, new evidence has emerged that could finally solve this mystery. Evidence that suggests her disappearance was not what it seemed. Who was Maura Murray, and why did she become one of America's most haunting missing persons cases? Maura was exceptional. A star athlete at West Point Military Academy, a brilliant nursing student at UMass, the kind of person who returned a penny if given too much change. But by 2003, cracks began to show. 3 months before her disappearance, Maura did something shocking. She was caught using a stolen credit card. Friends couldn't believe it. This was completely out of character. The consequences were swift. Kicked off the track team, facing criminal charges, isolated from friends. The perfect student's life was crumbling. But what happened next would transform a troubled college student into one of America's greatest mysteries. To the final disappearance were filled with lies, deception, and bizarre behavior. Thursday, February 5th, Maura receives a mysterious phone call at work. Immediately, she breaks down crying uncontrollably. To this day, no one knows who called or what they said. February 9th, the final day. At 1 p.m., Maura visits her professors with a lie. She tells them she needs to miss classes due to a death in the family. There was no death. Every family member was alive and well. 2:05 p.m., ATM surveillance captures Maura withdrawing $280, nearly all her money. 4:37 p.m., Maura calls Stowe Mountain Resort in Vermont asking about skiing conditions. 4:52 p.m., she calls a rental company in New Hampshire asking about condo availability. Back in her dorm, Maura packs methodically. Clothes for several days, but here's what's strange. She also packs her textbooks. Why would she need nursing textbooks for a vacation? 7 p.m., security cameras capture Maura's final moments on campus. She drives her beat-up Saturn north toward New Hampshire, into the growing darkness. She would never be seen again. Route 112 winds through some of New England's most remote wilderness. In winter, during a storm, it becomes a death trap. 7:27 p.m., Maura's Saturn hits the weathered barn curve and crashes into a snowbank. Within minutes, bus driver Butch Atwood arrives. He finds Maura outside her car, shaken but alive. Here's where it gets weird. When Atwood offers to call police, Maura refuses. She claims she's already called AAA and help is coming. But this was a lie. Her cell phone had no signal in that remote location. Atwood smells alcohol on her breath. She seems nervous, constantly looking around. Something is wrong. 7:43 p.m., Atwood calls police. 7:46 p.m., just 3 minutes later, Sergeant Cecil Smith arrives at the scene. What he finds defies explanation. The Saturn is still there, locked, airbags deployed, but Maura Murray has vanished. Inside the car, her belongings scattered, alcohol spilled, cell phone dead. But her backpack, ID, and car keys are missing. No footprints leading away from the car. No blood, no signs of struggle. Tracking dogs follow her scent for 100 yards along Route 112. Then the trail goes cold. It's as if she vanished into thin air. For 20 years, investigators have pursued every possible theory. Theory 1, Maura ran away voluntarily, started a new life somewhere. But after 2 decades with no trace, this seems increasingly unlikely. Theory 2, she was picked up by a good Samaritan who never came forward. Or worse, someone with malicious intent. Theory 3, she wandered into the wilderness and succumbed to the elements. The White Mountains are vast and unforgiving. Even experienced hikers can disappear forever. But here's what makes this case extraordinary. Despite massive search efforts, FBI involvement, and nationwide attention, not a single piece of evidence has ever been found. No body, no clothing, no personal items, nothing. Until now. February 2024. Exactly 20 years after Maura's disappearance, the family reveals something that changes everything. A rusty knife was discovered on a property about 1 mile from the crash site. Even more significant, cadaver dogs had hit on that same property. This is the first tangible evidence the Murray family has ever received. Modern forensic technology, ground-penetrating radar, advanced DNA testing, sophisticated cadaver dogs, gives investigators tools they never had in 2004. July 2022, law enforcement conducts another search near the crash site. They haven't released details, but the fact they're still actively investigating suggests they believe this case can be solved. So what happened to Maura Murray? The property where the knife was found has been searched multiple times over the years, but advances in forensic technology may have made it possible to detect evidence that was previously undetectable. Ground-penetrating radar and cadaver dogs are far more sophisticated now than they were in 2004. Visual, modern forensic equipment, cadaver dogs at work. In July 2022, law enforcement conducted another search in the towns of Llandaff and Easton, both near the crash site. While they haven't released details about what, if anything, they found, the fact that they're still actively investigating suggests they have reasons to believe the case can be solved. Visual, recent search footage, police tape. The Murray family has also taken a more active role in the investigation. Julie launched a podcast in 2024 featuring previously unknown details about her sister's case. Their goal is to cut out the noise and focus on facts rather than the wild theories that have proliferated online over the years. The most likely scenarios haven't changed much over the years. Maura may have voluntarily disappeared to start a new life, though this seems increasingly unlikely given the passage of time and lack of any trace. She may have been picked up by someone, either a good Samaritan who never came forward, or someone with malicious intent. After 20 years, we still don't know for certain. But for the first time, there's real hope for answers. Somewhere out there, someone knows what happened. Someone has the missing piece that could finally bring this family the answers they've been seeking for over 2 decades. The truth is still out there, and thanks to new evidence and advancing technology, we may finally be close to finding it. If you have any information about Maura Murray's disappearance, contact the New Hampshire State Police immediately. This case will be solved. The question isn't if, it's when.